Hey, what's good? Peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. I'm the host of the channel, Owner Wood. Getting in early to cook. Maximizing my time. That's it. Hey, I finally had a chance to see the title. These guys nobody wanted to be Lil Wayne. And I'm saying that because Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, the more that I'm hearing from these two guys about their exit from Pittsburgh is just disheartening. And I really feel sorry for Coach Mike Tomlin and the fans of one of the better ran franchises in pro football. But I'm mentioning the Lil Wayne thing because, well, actually, let me go back. I'll get into AB second, Antonio Brown, with his comments on LeBron James, the shot. But looking at Le'Veon Bell today, they're showing clips of him. I guess it was an interview with Sports Illustrated TV. And Le'Veon said, with a straight face, that I went in there as a rookie and told Coach what I wanted to do. I told them what plays I liked, and they told me to go play football, worry about being running back. And that's part of the problem with today's athletes. Like, you're a rookie in one of the toughest professional sports. You coming to us from East Lansing, from Michigan State, not being the most, never in the Heisman race or nothing. Had a solid career, but Le'Veon Bell at Michigan State versus the dude in Pittsburgh, that's two totally different players. But you come in the room talking about what you want to do. I'm the coach. I got my coaching career and my staff. I got all their livelihoods. All of that's my responsibility, young man. Figure out how to play the game. Learn your role on the team and show up on time. And this is coming from a dude who the first 2 to 3 seasons in the league, you didn't even know if he was going to suit up week to week. Suspensions, injuries, the substance, marijuana or whatever. You didn't even know if this dude was going to be here week to week. But you're talking about, let me call the play. Let me tell you what plays I want to run. Hey, man, can you imagine if they let Lil Wayne rap all the way through, back that ass up? His little half a verse or whatever it was at the end of the song with the wobbly stuff. Can you imagine how much money they would have left on the table letting Lil Wayne do the whole song? Like, you're here, you're in the building, get in the studio, keep working, keep getting better at your craft. We gave you the gold chain. We gave you the cash money pendant for your chain and all that. Just be part of the crew. We don't need you to blow right now. And that's the thing with Le'Veon. Like, just get in the building and learn how to be a professional running back. Learn how to take care of your body. Learn all your blocking assignments. We're going to be using you in the passing game almost as much as we're using you in the running game, in the rushing game. Take care of yourself. Like, nobody is disrespecting you, but we're just not trying to give you more than what you need. Then in the next sentence, Le'Veon Bell says exactly the reasonable thing. In my second, third, and fourth year, when I started speaking up, Coach did start listening to me. That's how it works. That's the natural progression of things. Like, we can trust you. You're not fumbling too much. You're not missing assignments. You're picking up your blocks and you're making the right reads on your in the passing game. We come to you more. So then he goes on to say, the last clip that I saw, he goes on to say, now that I'm with the Jets, man, they wanted to know everything I wanted to do. Of course they do. They're the Jets. It's a new coach. Then I just heard, according to Chris Carter, that Adam Gase, I think that's his first name, the new coach that left, they got canned in Miami, he's never even played football. I didn't know that. I didn't know what his background was. But anyway, Chris Carter just went on to say that he said that because he said that's part of that's a strong part of Gase's, who gets a lot of credit for what he was able to do with Jay Cutler for the 1 or 2 solid years that Cutler actually maybe lived up to the expectations. But he was just saying that's kind of one of the stronger suits of Gase's game as a coach is that he listens a lot. He takes in a lot. You know, that's how he's paid his dues and gotten to where he is by absorbing the game from other people. So that was that. But yeah, I'm just sitting here like, man, Coach Mike Tomlin didn't have a chance. I mean, he didn't have a chance with these guys. We get over to Antonio Brown. I check him out on LeBron James's show, The Shop. And actually, you know, it wasn't a bad explanation. It wasn't a bad look for Antonio Brown altogether. You know, he kind of reiterated the same thing that he already has said, you know, that it was just a rift with, more so with Ben Roethlisberger. And he wasn't a fan of how the team was, you know, favoring Roethlisberger to do whatever he wanted. He had free reign in the building. And, that just wasn't what, you know, he wasn't into that. And he went on to say that Roethlisberger took some shots at him. And it is a little strange or awkward when a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback has a radio show in the city where you play. I mean, and he went on there and said, you know, he had a good joke. He said, man, he talking about me running a bad route. He threw the ball to a defensive lineman. So, I mean, it is definitely some facts in what in Antonio Brown's defense of his exit from Pittsburgh. And even with Le'Veon Bell, I mean, in his sit down with Sports Illustrated, he also mentioned that Ben Roethlisberger wanted to do things his way, and he said that he mentioned that there was a concern that, you know, this is the guy who's throwing the passes and deciding where the ball is going to go. And it makes you wonder, is he going to throw the ball to Juju versus you? And I don't know if I really agree with that so much because some of those plays, the ball has to go where it's designed to go. And if it doesn't, excuse me, you got to talk through it. You got to talk through it in the film room. So I don't know how much you can get away with that. I think I left my soda at the house. Under the weather a little bit this week. I did leave it in the house. Damn. But anyway, so, but Brown just went on to say that, you know, excuse me. He said when it all broke down, now he's telling Maverick, LeBron, Jared Carmichael, 2 Chainz, Meek Mill, Jamie Foxx. This is who he's telling his side of the story to. But he says he went over to coach and said, I got a little knee problem, and this is in the final week of the season where they need that game. Actually, the team's destiny wasn't even in their own hand. They had the bigger concern was that the Ravens needed to lose, but they still had to do their part, obviously, and win the game. And he goes over to coach Mike Tomlin and tells him my knee is bothering me. You know, I'm a little banged up. So he says that Mike Tomlin told him to just go home. Now, this is when Maverick Carter, as kind of the de facto host of the show, most episodes, he has no follow-up question. But I'm sitting here like, is that the normal protocol? Now, AB is a star on the team, so maybe he can go right to, maybe he does go right to Coach Tomlin. But I'm asking the question, like, do you go to the training staff first with that? Do you go to the position coach with that? Do you go to the offensive coordinator with that? But he said that he went over to Coach T. He sent him home. He said, you can go home. You don't even have to go to the training staff. You can just go home. Now, then again, my next follow-up question is, did he tell you to go home because he was sick of the BS at that point and he just wanted to, like his mind was already made up that I'm shutting this down now because you're becoming a distraction? They didn't answer none of that. They just went on to joke. He goes on and finishes his story with, then he shows up with the fur coat. He's standing on the sideline and he leaves at halftime or something, or they tell him to leave, and then they just get into the joke about, I work hard, so of course I'm gonna wear me a fur. I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna have some drip. I'm gonna be something about his swagger. That's what I play this game for. He said, but then they go back and they make the story about, where you're not a good person or you're not a good teammate and you're being a distraction because of the fur coat. And of course, everybody in the room eats that up. Okay, I give you that one. But at the end of the day, what I'm getting back to is it's good to hear their side of the story. I appreciate, the questions being asked, and then in Antonio Brown's case, it's good to get a chance to understand things from his side, his point of view. But and we get down to the point that Ben Roethlisberger, might be a major culprit in why this team that had such a powerful nucleus, such a strong offensive nucleus of a Super Bowl caliber team, this is why they don't have nothing to show for it after 4 or 5 years. Too many different agendas. I'm getting ready to end this because I can't stop coughing. But in contrast, this is why when you look at the Patriots organization, they don't have all of that. You don't go there to have fun. There's no time to choreograph touchdown celebrations. You're going to do it my way. And this is why the Patriots kicked the Steelers' asses when they were heads up. Most of the times, or at least when it was most important, the Patriots won. So it's unfortunate, man, because as a somewhat of, the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of a secondary team of mine that I love the organization and how they run the shop. So it's definitely a team that I keep an eye on. Plus, I'm here in the Midwest, and then obviously Coach Tomlin is a guy that I'm very fond of for a number of different reasons. But he just really never had a chance with that bunch. And then last thing that I wanted to point out to close this, part of Antonio Brown's situation, and what he was saying on the shop to LeBron and crew, is that he said, basically they switch up the narrative on you, and when you get out of line, when you become more of an individual, they make you out to be the bad guy. That's how they turn the narrative around. And I don't disagree with that. But the fact of the matter is, what I'm finding with a lot of these upper echelon athletes and these world-renowned dudes, and some of the best in their respective crafts, is the fact that, no pun there, craft. Anyway, messed up my point. That's a bad deal. I messed up my point. But at the beginning of the relationship, the media wasn't reporting all of the bad stuff that was going on. You got to respect the love at the front end. So we come to find out that for many of the training camps, AB was staying off campus. I never heard that. I never knew that I thought the whole team, I think they trained in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. think that's what it is. But I thought the whole team, across the league, I thought the whole team was in there with that miserable experience as you get ready for the season and everybody, you try to galvanize the team and get everybody on one page. I thought that's what the intention of that was. But now here it is, they come and find out that AB is staying where he wants to stay. Nobody never reported that when things was going good. Nobody never called you out on that. Nobody ever wrote that story. So it's some give and take. If there's a moral to this whole 15-minute discussion, it's some give and take in this thing in a number of different ways. Between a number of different parties, it's some give and take. But like I said, it's just to close out with Roethlisberger, the quarterbacks run the NFL, and I guess both of those guys had to do what they had to do, and no shame in that. But like I said, at the end of the day, the most popular phrase in sports, at the end of the day, there's no title here to show for this bunch, for this nucleus. And I guess what we'll see is, how does a great program such as the Steelers, how do they get back together? And how do they replace the outgoing talent so that they can maintain what they've been doing in the AFC? What is that? The AFC North. So that's what's to look for. So look, man, I'm gonna get on off of here. And thanks for checking in. Please subscribe to the channel. We're gonna talk about a little bit more than boxing from time to time. I do have a bracket for the podcast out there. I'll come back and put that in the link down below in the description. If you want to join the NCAA March Madness bracket that I'm doing for the show, you can contribute to it, and we can discuss all of that offline. But it will be out there, and I'd love to see as many people participate as possible. Thanks for rocking with the show as I try to keep it funky out here, and let me get going for the day. Peace. Got all types